With the Medellin cartel virtually out of business now in terms of production of cocaine with the death of Escobar, now it permits the Colombian government to focus on the only other major group of organizations.
Beneath the extravagant estates of Pablo Escobar lay secret vaults that for decades fueled rumors and fear. When one was finally opened, the contents shocked investigators. From hidden weapons and secret ledgers to clues exposing the vast reach of his empire. What secrets were so fiercely protected underground? What price was paid to guard wealth that spilled faster than it could be counted? Today, we step inside Escobar's hidden world to reveal why what was found terrified everyone involved. The mystery of hidden vaults. For decades, whispers surrounded Pablo Escobar's lavish estates. Tales of secret vaults buried deep beneath his properties, guarding more than just money. These spaces remained sealed and elusive, wrapped in rumor and fear, as if hiding the very soul of Colombia's most notorious illegal substance lord. Investigators had long speculated about their existence, yet concrete proof was scarce. Then, finally, one vault was breached, revealing a trove that shocked everyone involved. Opening the vault was like stepping into a hidden dimension of Escobar's empire. Inside, investigators found crates of weapons, armored gear, and thousands of rounds of ammunition, alongside bundles of US dollars locked away almost as an afterthought. But what stunned experts even more were the meticulous ledgers, filled with coded transactions and lists of bribes that exposed the cartel's reach across continents. These discoveries transformed abstract rumors into undeniable proof of the cartel's vast power and paranoia. The vaults were far from ordinary safes. They were concrete fortresses, reinforced with steel and lead, designed to withstand raids and betrayals. Beneath the opulence of Escobar's estates, complete with exotic animals, artificial lakes, and life-sized dinosaur statues, lay chambers built for war and survival. These hidden rooms symbolized more than just wealth. They embodied fear, mistrust, and the violent lengths Escobar would go to protect his empire. Despite intensive raids by Colombian authorities in the early 1990s, only fragments of the hidden fortunes came to light. Police tore through walls, sunk shafts in yards, and combed estates like Hacienda Nápoles. Yet vast portions of Escobar's treasure remained unaccounted for. These ongoing mysteries kept alive a legend of lost billions in secret passages, fueling decades of speculation about unseen caches still buried beneath Colombia's soil. Part of the puzzle lies in Escobar's deep-seated paranoia. He trusted almost no one, not banks, not accountants, only a handful of close family members. Money was hoarded in underground barrels, hidden behind false walls, or buried in farmlands. Records were kept in secret ledgers, never in books that could be traced. Each vault was a fortress, not just for fortune, but for survival itself. The allure of these secret vaults has drawn attention from treasure hunters, officials, and documentary makers. In 2017, former CIA operatives employed drones, ground-penetrating radar, and metal detectors to hunt Escobar's hidden riches, revealing the sophistication of his concealment methods. They uncovered safe-like containers lined with lead and vaults ingeniously disguised within walls, signs of a man obsessed with security amid constant threats. Locals and former cartel associates, under the cover of anonymity, have shared chilling stories of underground tunnels and torture chambers connected to these vaults. Though formal evidence is scarce, testimonies describe soundproofed rooms with hooks and drainage, harsh reminders of Escobar's ruthless control. Such spaces were more than hiding spots. They were instruments of intimidation and enforcement. The secrets buried beneath Escobar's estates open a window into the complex intersection of immense wealth, brutal violence, and survival instincts. But these revelations only scratch the surface of how Escobar rose from the streets to build one of the most powerful crime organizations history has ever seen. As his empire grew, so did the fortunes hidden away, setting the stage to understand exactly how Escobar amassed such staggering wealth. Escobar's rise to power. Pablo Escobar's path to dominance began not with vast fortunes or political clout, but with petty crime on the gritty streets of Medellin. As a teenager, he learned early how desperation and opportunity could be twisted into profit, stealing tombstones, erasing their names, and reselling them to the unsuspecting. From there, he moved on to car thefts and extortion, steadily building a reputation for ruthless efficiency.
By the early 1970s, Escobar's crimes escalated drastically. Kidnappings for ransom became a common tactic, and victims were often discarded even after payments were made, signaling a brutal approach that instilled widespread fear. In 1971, his gang's abduction and execution of businessman Diego Echeverria earned them not only a hefty payday of $50,000, but a reputation for lethal ruthlessness that would soon extend far beyond Colombia. The game changed when Escobar discovered substance smuggling. By 1976, his initial shipments, such as 39 kilograms hidden inside a car tire, showed his burgeoning foothold in what would become a global empire. His arrest that year didn't slow him down, it confirmed his core belief: cash could erase problems, violence could remove obstacles. Thus, he embraced the ruthless creed known as plata o plomo, meaning silver or lead. Take the bribe or face the bullet. Bribery became Escobar's currency of influence. He poured money into Colombia's political arena, spreading wealth across parties to secure allies. By 1978, he joined forces with other traffickers, founding the Medellin Cartel, which soon flooded U.S. markets with substance shipments weighing thousands of kilograms. This combination of brutal ambition and strategic alliances made Escobar unstoppable. His empire expanded swiftly, including massive smuggling operations like the fortified Norman's Cay in the Bahamas, complete with private airstrips and refrigerated warehouses to hold substance before shipment. This operation alone generated profits far beyond his earliest imaginations, fueling further extravagance and power. Back home in Antioquia, Escobar built Hacienda Nápoles, a sprawling 7,000-acre estate that was part theme park, part fortress. It featured exotic animals, artificial lakes, and eccentric sculptures, an ostentatious display of wealth and dominance. Yet behind the spectacle, the estate hid tunnels, vaults, and secret rooms designed for concealment and survival. Alongside this public image, Escobar crafted a complicated identity to the people of Medellin. He was both feared thug and generous benefactor, funding schools, parks, and housing projects. This dual persona earned him the nickname Robin Hood, even as he maintained control through violence and intimidation. His political ambitions led him to Congress in 1982, granting him diplomatic immunity, though his past soon caught up with him. Following investigations by justice officials and the assassination of critics, Escobar escalated his war against the state, financing paramilitary forces to fight extradition and carrying out bombings and assassinations. His empire's meteoric rise set the stage for a fortune so immense it defied logic and demanded equally elaborate methods of concealment. Hiding such unimaginable wealth posed unique challenges, complicating life for Escobar and his cartel beyond even their vast criminal reach. A fortune beyond measure. At the height of his power, Pablo Escobar controlled an empire that earned an estimated $420 million each week. His personal fortune ballooned into the tens of billions, adjusted for today's value, roughly $80 billion. Forbes magazine listed him among the world's richest men in the late 1980s, a rare criminal billionaire who combined opulence with lethal business acumen.
This staggering fortune revealed itself in sprawling estates, luxury properties, and a fleet of rare cars that included prized Porsches, Cadillacs, and even a Harley-Davidson once owned by Frank Sinatra. His most infamous residence, Hacienda Napoles, was both a symbol of excess and a bizarre, almost surreal fortress featuring dinosaur statues, private zoos, and vast lakes. In Medellin, his family's Monaco building offered fortified luxury with tennis courts, pools, and panic rooms. Managing this volume of money was an overwhelming logistical nightmare. The cash arrived faster than it could be counted, laundered, or stored in official banks. Instead, the cartel resorted to stuffing warehouses, walls, and fields with bundles of bills. Escobar's own brother later admitted that roughly 10% of stored cash was lost yearly to rats, mold, and water damage, an extraordinary waste in the midst of such wealth. The cartel spent thousands monthly simply on rubber bands to keep stocks of cash organized. On one desperate occasion, Escobar burned $2 million just to keep his daughter warm during a cold night. This surreal abundance transformed money itself into fuel, kindling, or disposable material. It was wealth on a scale few could fathom. His fortune was often hidden in underground vaults secured by concrete and steel, sometimes sealed in barrels buried deep beneath farmland. Alongside cash, these caches often contained weapons, ledgers, and highly sensitive documents, forming a hidden network of power beneath the surface. Rumors circulated about secret tunnels, torture chambers disguised as storage rooms, and escape routes guarded by hidden doors, all reflecting the paranoia that accompanied such fortune. Escobar's mistrust extended to nearly everyone, trusting only a few family members while rejecting banks and formal accounting. His financial records were handwritten in coded ledgers, deliberately obscured to avoid tracing. This mistrust symbolized how wealth, no matter how vast, was vulnerable and always at risk from rivals, government forces, or betrayal. Despite Escobar's power, his fortune was never fully recovered. After his death, authorities found only fragments of his hidden treasures. Caches of decayed, unusable money revealed how difficult it was to preserve such riches. Still, investigators believe much of his fortune remains buried, lost to time and secrecy. This unimaginable financial empire and its hidden vaults represent just one part of the story, one that continues to fascinate and frighten, revealing the lengths a criminal kingpin went to protect his kingdom beneath the surface. The discovery of weapons, documents, and lies within these vaults would soon shed light on the darker sides of Escobar's empire. Weapons and war chests. Beyond unimaginable wealth, Pablo Escobar's secret vaults concealed an arsenal that revealed the raw intensity of his paranoia and readiness for war. Investigators uncovered crates filled with AK-47s, rifles, grenades, rocket launchers, and thousands of rounds of ammunition. These weren't merely stockpiles for offense, they formed a fortified war chest designed to withstand sieges and betrayals. The juxtaposition of weapons stacked alongside piles of US dollars painted a stark picture. Escobar's empire was built as much on violence and intimidation as on cash. The vaults themselves functioned as more than safes. They were underground bunkers, reinforced with steel doors and concrete walls, built to resist raids and prevent infiltration. Escobar's own estates, while outwardly lavish with exotic animals and extravagant landscaping, masked these hidden chambers devoted to survival and defense. The fortified nature of the vaults reflected a man besieged by enemies on all sides. rival cartels, law enforcement, and even treacherous insiders. This obsession with defense extended beyond weapons. Reports from former associates and locals described soundproof, windowless rooms equipped with hooks and drainage systems, likely used as torture or interrogation chambers. Though official investigators never fully documented such sites, the chilling accounts aligned with Escobar's ruthless reputation. These spaces were not just tools of terror, but also instruments to maintain control through fear and brutality. Even inside his prison, La Catedral, Escobar prepared for conflict. The compound was stocked with arms, including unconventional weapons. It was a fortress disguised as a penitentiary, with escape routes, tunnels, and multiple layers of defense that made any assault nearly impossible. This personal armory underlined how deeply Escobar's life was embedded in a persistent state of siege. Throughout his reign, the presence of vast weapon stockpiles underlined the volatile balance between glamour and menace. Escobar's wealth was inseparable from its violent guardrails. The vaults were physical manifestations of a brutal calculus. Power required both riches and relentless readiness for war. During raids in the early 1990s, authorities were often stunned not just by the sheer volume of weapons, but also by the logistical organization of these arsenals. The cartel had developed sophisticated storage methods, ensuring that war materials were as meticulously hidden and guarded as their money. These networks were vital in sustaining operations and fending off attacks, whether from rivals or state forces. This arsenal enabled Escobar and his cartel to orchestrate terror campaigns across Colombia, from bombings to targeted assassinations. The weapons were tools to enforce plata or plomo, the brutal ultimatum of bribe or bullet, which allowed the cartel to control the judiciary, politicians, and police alike. The vaults offered a spine to a sprawling machinery of corruption and violence. While weapons protected the empire, it was the hidden ledgers and secret communications inside these vaults that exposed its true reach and vulnerability. The documents discovered would soon reveal the underside of this dangerous world, one mapped in ink and secrecy, where money bought loyalty and betrayal could cost lives. The transition from physical defense to the covert power of information draws us deeper into the heart of Escobar's criminal web. Documents and dark secrets. Amid stacks of weapons and cash, the vault held something even more revealing. Detailed ledgers and coded documents that mapped the cartel's extensive operations. Handwritten in precise script, these ledgers contained shipment schedules, financial transactions, and exhaustive lists of bribes paid to politicians, law enforcement, and judges. For prosecutors, these records were like a blueprint, offering critical insight into how Escobar's empire functioned behind the scenes. These documents exposed the cartel's global reach, stretching from Colombia to Miami and even into parts of Europe. The intricate coding reflected a sophisticated communication system designed to evade detection. The ledgers allowed the cartel to coordinate multi-ton shipments of substance, laundering billions, while maintaining tight control over an expansive network of corrupt officials and violent enforcers. The presence of these records spoke to a paradox at the core of Escobar's operation: immense power and wealth wrapped in extraordinary secrecy and mistrust. Despite all the cash and guns, it was the control over information and influence that truly sustained the empire. Those documents were more dangerous than any weapon. They were proof and leverage. Beyond the practical, the vault's secret rooms hinted at the darker aspects of Escobar's reign.
Testimonies from former associates spoke of windowless, soundproof chambers fitted with hooks and drainage systems, suggesting torture or interrogation purposes. These rooms embodied the brutality underpinning the cartel's rule, where threats were enforced through fear and violence. Escobar's paranoia extended even to these secret records. Trust was scarce, and only a few loyal family members had access to the deepest parts of the operation. No official banks or accountants tracked the money. Everything was handwritten in code, minimizing the risk, but also increasing the empire's isolation and instability. These ledgers also revealed the cartel's far-reaching corruption. Judges were bribed or eliminated, politicians were on payrolls, and entire law enforcement agencies were compromised. The documents painted a chilling portrait of a state infiltrated by criminal power, where loyalty could be bought and justice could be manipulated or destroyed. The discovery of such evidence gave law enforcement crucial tools in prosecuting cartel members, but it also underscored the depth of Escobar's grip on Colombia. His empire was not just an illegal substance operation, but a shadow government operating on money, fear, and lies. The vaults held keys not only to wealth, but to a network that corrupted an entire nation. These revelations about documents and deception lead inevitably toward the violent unraveling of Escobar's reign, an end shaped by betrayal, relentless pursuit, and the limits of power itself. The hunt and aftermath. The final years of Pablo Escobar's life were marked by a relentless pursuit and increasing isolation. After years of expanding his cartel into a sprawling empire, Escobar found himself hunted not just by Colombian authorities, but by elite U.S. forces determined to bring him down. His carefully constructed safe havens and underground vaults became places of paranoia rather than refuge. Despite these precautions, the walls slowly closed in. In 1991, Escobar struck a controversial deal to surrender, choosing to serve time in his own custom-built prison, La Catedral. This fortress-like penitentiary was perched high on a mountain overlooking Medellin and contained luxuries unheard of for a prisoner, including a football field, waterfall, and private guards loyal only to him. Yet even this apparent concession was a strategy to maintain power and control. The prison was filled with secret escape routes, armed stockpiles, and hidden passages designed to ensure his survival. The facade of surrender crumbled when reports emerged of torture and executions ordered by Escobar inside La Catedral. When authorities demanded his transfer to a regular prison in 1992, Escobar refused and escaped through a deliberately weakened wall, vanishing into the shadows. His escape reignited the manhunt, intensifying efforts by Colombian forces supported covertly by American signals units like Centra Spike. The search blocked tracked Escobar's communications with precision, tightening the noose. Still, Escobar remained elusive, adapting quickly and striking back with violence to instill fear and disrupt their operations. Meanwhile, a shadowy group known as Los Pepes, or people persecuted by Pablo Escobar, emerged as a ruthless parallel force. Joining the violent campaign against Escobar's network, they bombed estates, threatened family members, and assassinated associates indiscriminately. Though publicly condemned, their brutal effectiveness was an unspoken ally to law enforcement efforts. With multiple fronts closing in, Escobar's support crumbled as his former allies turned informants, deepening his isolation. On December 2, 1993, Escobar's luck ran out. After a long phone call to his son, his location was pinpointed in a modest Medellin neighborhood near his home. Colombian forces launched a swift assault on the rooftop where Escobar and his loyal bodyguard waited. In the ensuing gunfight, Escobar was shot multiple times and slain. The official details remain clouded by conflicting claims and conspiracy theories, but the end was definitive. The kingpin was dead. Even after his death, the legacy of violence and power struggles continued to ripple across Colombia. The vacuums left by Escobar's empire triggered new conflicts among emerging criminal groups. Yet the discovery of his secret vaults and buried treasures continued to fascinate and haunt investigators and locals alike. Many believe that vast amounts of his hidden fortune remain undiscovered, buried beneath the very lands he once ruled. Pablo Escobar's secret vaults revealed a chilling blend of wealth, weapons, and dark secrets, reflecting a world ruled by fear and power. His empire's rise and fall show how obsession with control can drive both lavish excess and brutal violence. If you found this inside look compelling, please like and subscribe for more stories that uncover the hidden layers of history.